Tonight, it is time to test. Kellyanne Conway says she can make the case the president is a uniter. The problem is the media, not him. And Joe Arpaio, the sheriff convicted of defying a federal judge, says he's the right man to represent Arizona in the U.S. Senate. Let's get after it. I'm Chris Cuomo. Welcome to Primetime. All right, facts first. Just hours ago, an apparent and significant reversal from President Trump. Is he willing to sit down with the special prosecutor as he promised or not? Kellyanne Conway is standing by, ready to go one-on-one. Good to have you. But first, let's give you the facts. Listen to the president at the White House this afternoon.
Are you open to meeting with him? Would you be willing to meet with him without condition, or would you demand that a strict set of parameters be placed around any encounter between you and the special counsel?
We'll see what happens. I mean, certainly I'll see what happens. But when they have no collusion, and nobody's found any collusion at any level, it seems unlikely that you'd even have an interview.
That's not what he said in the Rose Garden 7 months ago. Proof.
Would you be willing to speak under oath to give your version of those events?
100%.
100%. In addition to today's about face, Mr. Trump committed another fact infraction by tweet. Republicans should finally take control of the Russia investigation. The Republicans are in control of every aspect of the Russia investigation. Know this. Republicans are overseeing all 3 congressional investigations at the Justice Department, the criminal investigation into Russian election meddling, also completely overseen by officials with Republican ties. You have all these new gotcha investigations of someone who is not relevant in American politics except to President Trump, Hilary Clinton. That's one reason why. So those are the facts. Now it's time to argue the case. Let's bring in counselor to the president, Kellyanne Conway, joining us right now. Happy New Year to you, my friend. It's good to have you.
Hello, Christopher. Congratulations on your new show.
Thank you. A fun 4 weeks ahead for sure. I hope to have you here.
I heard one of your New Year's resolutions is to allow me to finish sentences, so I really look forward to this interview.
Oh, good. Just return the favor. So will the president sit down with the special counsel?
The president and his lawyers have made very clear from the beginning that this White House is cooperating with requests for information, and that hasn't changed.
But will he sit down with this special prosecutor? He had said, sure, 100%. Now he said, we'll see, we'll see. I don't know why we'd have to have an interview. Very different, no?
Well, Chris, the president has also said as recently as today that there is no Russian collusion. There is no collusion. I mean, your network's been covering it for the better part, well, for a year plus. Your morning colleague, Allison Camerata, told a radio show 6 months ago that she's got a little bit of Russia fatigue. She wonders every day if she should be covering this from segment to segment. I think many people agree. Many Americans agree.
She got over it. She pushed through it. It was Russia fatigue, but it was like a plateau effect.
But why
now she's into it more than ever.
But Chris, Christopher, it can't possibly be because we found anything.
Where's
the evidence?
How do you know, Kellyanne? You're a lawyer. What do you know?
Well, hold on.
What
This has
Mr.
gone on
Mueller
for.
knows?
You know that this has gone on for a year, and you full well know
Nothing by federal
that you've
investigative
leaned.
standards.
But Chris, think about everything that you have missed covering because of the obsession with the Russian collusion investigation, which the president has said as recently as today doesn't exist. And he also made the point that if there is any collusion, that it occurred with the Democrats. You look at who paid for the dossier, you look at who was trying to pull different tricks to win an election that they lost anyway, and that's very concerning to many Americans. But look, let's just talk about what hasn't been covered.
No, wait, hold on one second. Hold on.
You want to cover who's up and who's down. What's up and what's down? What's up is the stock market, the consumer confidence. What's down is ISIS, is unemployment. Okay,
but you can't just run through an explanation, trample the facts, and then move on. You got to give me a chance to get in there.
Don't do that just because it'll make for a great viral moment or a promo. I see I'm in all your Cuomo promos.
There's only one promo, and you're in it once.
Hold on. What do you mean I trampled the facts? Be specific, please. Don't just say that.
You say it was paid for by the Democrats. As we all know, right? It started off with a Republican funder, then moved on to a Democratic funder. You say the president said there's no collusion.
Wait a second. No, hold on. Did the Democrats pay for it or not? Did the Clinton campaign pay millions of dollars?
As far as we know, yes, they did.
And that hasn't been trampled. That's a fact.
But Fusion GPS is not a Democrat outfit, as Sarah Sanders tried to suggest. You had Glenn Simpson in testimony that the Republicans wanted to keep quiet, where he said, no, I got lefties, I got righties, I've got journalists on the left, I've got people from the right, I've never been paid by Russia, I've never worked for Russia. Sarah Huckabee Sanders stated that he had his fact because she listened to a man named Bill Browder.
Look,
who
Chris,
did some
this is
testimony.
your show.
So those are the facts. But hold on.
Chris,
this
wait. Is your show. But look, I'm talking from the White House briefing room.
Yes.
And are we going to talk about the things that happened
Yes.
this week or even just
Yes. Well,
today?
this is happening
when the
today.
president,
This happened
again,
today when he said he wouldn't sit down.
Just today stood with. Well, hold on. A lot happened here today. The president had a bilateral meeting with the Prime Minister of Norway. Then he had a two-on-two press conference
Yes.
with her. Then a one-on-one, but two-on-two with the questions press conference with her. In between, he did many things, not least of which was another bipartisan action. At about 5:30 today in the Oval Office, the president invited in members of the House and Senate,
Yes.
Democrats and Republicans, and he signed the Interdict Act into law. And you're not telling the people that. It's relevant that we now have more money for our Customs and Border Patrol to detect and interdict fentanyl, which is a major killer in this country. He gave the pen to Democratic Senator of Massachusetts, Ed Markey, because he sees
In bipartisan
that this
spirit.
is. Well, no, it's not just a spirit; it's an action. That particular piece of legislation
Yes,
passed
I'm
with over
glad you
400
brought up
votes in the
interdict.
House.
I'm
but
glad you
won't
brought it
tell
up.
people what's happening.
That's
You're
not
telling
true.
them what may be and what fantasies may actually come true one day, 5 years
That's not
maybe
true.
into an investigation.
You should, and by the way, you shouldn't dismiss national security concerns as fantasy. You shouldn't say it doesn't exist.
I don't dismiss
You
them. That's
shouldn't
why
use
Donald
the
Trump is president. Hold
as a
on.
standard
The
on
caliphate
whether, hold
is
on,
nearly.
I let you finish.
You're
Give me a
talking about
chance.
national security when it comes to Russia and
Yes.
the election.
Yes,
What
absolutely.
about national security when it comes to the
Absolutely.
border? Then I guess we can count on you
talk
the way
about
we
it
counted
all
on
the
54
time.
Democrats in 2013
about
to
it
vote
all
for
the
a
time.
wall.
Look,
National security is border security,
running
and it also
away
includes the fact
from
that
the
the
question-
caliphate is all but destroyed.
Running
I'm not
away
running
from the
away
question. Of course
from the
you
question.
are.
I just don't find it to be particularly relevant for somebody
I understand
who
why
works
you
in a White
don't
House where
like
so
the
much
question,
happens.
but we must
No,
test
I
what
don't
you
not
said.
like it. I just think it's weird
All
after
right,
a
all right,
year
good.
of asking
That's your opinion. I'm going to keep asking it
the
until we
opinion
get
of many people.
the answers. Well, we'll see, because we don't know what Mr. Mueller has. And for the president to say, hey, there's no collusion. He said there was no contact by anybody on his team with anyone from Russia. Remember that? That has proven about
Because
as
he can't
false
possibly
as
believe that anybody
anything.
thinks there would have had to be, and I'll tell you why. I was
Wait,
the
say it
campaign
again?
manager for the. Hold on, because the president. Hold on, when the president says that, and I will tell you, I have
Mm-hmm.
said it because I was the campaign manager for the winning part of the campaign.
Right.
And the idea that we would have to look any further than Hillary Clinton to beat Hillary Clinton itself is a fantasy. I didn't need to talk to anybody in Moscow. I was talking to people in Mecklenburg County, North Carolina, and in Macomb County, Michigan. There's no reason to have gone anywhere outside of Hillary Clinton and how unattractive her policies were, how lacking in a vision and connective tissue with the forgotten man, forgotten woman she was. We beat her fairly and squarely in
Right.
this country through this democratic elected process. But
Let me-
look, so many people still can't get over the election result that your network
says
called
my
wrongly
friend
again
who
and
can't
again.
keep Hillary Clinton's name
No,
out
no,
of her
no,
mouth.
hold on. You can't, excuse me. I'll make you a deal, Chris. I'll never
Yeah.
talk about her again. But then you can't talk about the 2016 election because
I'm not.
she lost that election. And the
I
only
haven't
reason we're
mentioned the
still
election
talking
once.
about it
I haven't mentioned
is
the election
because-
outcome once.
No,
And I
what
never
is it?
do.
I'm sorry,
Because
hold on.
Russian
What is,
interference
no.
matters,
No, what is,
and it
no,
doesn't
no, 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 no.
delegitimize the president's victory. You guys are
No,
frozen
what
in that
is-
moment. That's why you bring up Hillary Clinton. That's
Chris,
why you're
no,
having
that's
her
just not true.
investigated.
We
It's
don't
as
care about her.
obvious as
Nobody
it
here
is
talks about her.
counterproductive.
Hey, Chris, nobody here talks about Hillary Clinton, I promise
You just
you.
brought
You
her up.
do.
Look,
No, you're
you
talking
say
about the
we didn't have to go. Hold on a
2016
second. Kellyanne,
election.
no shouting contest
You're talking
here.
about
We're
the
friends.
2016 election. Don't tell
I'm
us that
talking
we're
about
talking about it.
you
We won the
saying-
election. We're going to win the next
You
one.
just said we didn't have to look anywhere past Hillary Clinton to win. Is we inclusive of Don Jr., Jared Kushner, and Paul Manafort, who went to a meeting with a Russian lawyer who was promising dirt on Hillary Clinton?
And what came to that meeting? Absolutely
That's
nothing.
not the
and you
point.
know
The
it.
point is why you went, not what came out of it. Come on.
Hey, Chris,
Come
no,
on,
the point is
Kellyanne,
you
own
can't
the
get over the
facts.
election. No. So we're going to talk about Russia. And
No, it's
yesterday,
just,
no, I'm
when
sorry.
You, skirt
know
it,
what you don't want
it
to talk
becomes
about?
a problem. You
Chris,
want to talk
maybe I'm
about
not a good
interdict,
interview
I will.
subject for you.
No, hold on a second.
Oh, yeah, you
Interdict-
want to talk about fentanyl, Kellyanne, which is
Sure.
killing thousands of tens of
Sure.
thousands of Americans.
I'm the one who did the
and we had-
documentary on it. I'm the one who went to those
That's-
firefighters who are still
that's
waiting
terrific.
for help
Thank you
from
for
you guys.
bringing attention
the
to it. Now,
Manchester
what do you
Fire
think-
Department, they're still waiting
Okay.
for money from you guys. It still hasn't come.
Chris, that's
still
not true.
waiting.
Don't talk about that.
Is it untrue?
The chief of that. We had the chief of the Manchester Fire Department here at the White House several times. He's very happy.
Have you given funding to New Hampshire to fight opioids since you got in there? No.
You realize that yes, we have. What are you talking about?
How so?
Every
what
state
money has
got
been
money
apportioned?
through the
That's what
SAMHSA
Sherrod
grants.
Brown was saying at the meeting today. This is a good move. Stop fentanyl as it comes across the border. But you have to give money to communities as well. We'll see what you do on it.
And do you know what the Cures Act is? Do you know what the SAMHSA grants do? Do you have any idea?
I do, but the money has to get on the ground. It has to be put to work. And that's not happening yet the way it needs to be.
It's nice to have an administration who's actually focused on it, focused on interdiction
we'll
and law enforcement,
Focus
treatment
is
and
good
recovery.
if it results in action.
Prevention and education. There is action. We have the whole reason that the president wants to have a wall, and he will build that wall, is in part to stop the flow of illegal immigrations, but in large part also to stop the flow of illicit drugs.
You know how drugs get into this country?
It's killing many ways. Through the southern border, through the U.S. Postal Service, many different ways drugs come into this country.
Do you know how the majority of it gets into this country?
Educate me, please.
Well, you know the answer. You know that the wall, which we don't even know, that's another topic for tonight. I don't even know what you mean when you say a wall anymore. The president said
two very different things.
Do you want to know? I'll answer it right
now.
Things. But no, hold on.
No, we didn't.
No, because I don't want to run away from this, because this is an important point. Putting up a wall isn't going to stop illegal drugs coming into this country, and you know that. They come by air, and they come in tunnels. I've been in them. I've been in those tunnels.
They come all different ways.
Very
are you
cramped,
saying,
very
I'm
scary.
sorry, Christopher, are you telling the viewers that no drugs come through the southern border? Did you
I'm
just
saying
say
the
that?
idea that a wall
Facts first.
is going to be the
difference. Be an apple,
difference.
don't be a banana.
The wall is going to be a difference is a joke. Saying that a wall will keep fentanyl out of this country, which the president said today, is a joke. Because it comes by cargo ship and cargo plane.
He said
this
that
is
it comes
high-grade
through the US Postal
pharmaceuticals,
Service.
not something strapped on someone's back that one of your
fentanyl
friends
is a synthetic
said someone
opioid.
walking them across with cantaloupe calves. It's not true. It's a fiction.
Well, hold on,
not
Chris.
a fact.
The fact is that do you know what percentage of? You don't think any heroin comes through the southern border?
I said
you don't think any drugs come through?
Make a real difference.
Okay.
Putting up a wall.
You know who you should tell
Why
that to?
did he bring it up today? He muddied the water of an otherwise good and positive event.
Muddied the water, of course. Chris, listen. He's going to build the wall, and the wall will help to stop the flow of illicit drugs coming over our borders. You know how we know that? Because he and our Secretary of Homeland Security, Kirstjen Nielsen, and her predecessor, our now Chief of Staff, John Kelly, have asked the people whose job it is to be at the border what they need, what they think, and they have told them what they need. And part of what they need is better security, tighter security. They need the ability, when somebody crosses the border illegally, they need the ability to remove that person, not have a 10 or 12-year wait period for the disposition of that individual who's now in the interior of the country. This president wants to put up a wall, and you and others want to put up a slip and slide. Just let everybody in. Is that really, do you think that should be the policy of a sovereign nation that has borders?
And you had the president walk into that meeting and say, look, the wall can mean different things in different places. I'm open. I'll agree to whatever you guys come up with.
You realize
That's
that part
not
of this is mountainous. Some of it is rivers.
No, not do I realize.
There's a
do
physical
you realize
wall, there's technology,
when the president was promising it's going to be a big new wall all the way across, I'll build it in a year, people said exactly what you're saying now. And he shook his head in defiance and said, no, not me. That's these other guys. They're saying they're going to compromise. Not me. Big brand new wall. That's what he said. It's not a metaphor. It doesn't mean a fence. It doesn't mean censors.
It's not a metaphor.
Wall.
It's a physical structure. And you know it.
He changed in the meeting. Republicans say it.
With the people.
Democrats say it.
Now, you know what's changed? You know what's changed? That he has said that in order to do a deal on DACA, it includes the wall, it includes an end to chain migration, it includes an end to the visa lottery system. And what bothers a lot of folks out there, it sounds like including you, is that you're going to get your main tool against him out of the way if he surprises you and actually does a deal on DACA. He promised transparency and accountability. Even people at CNN, other places have said they've never witnessed anything like that yesterday.
Letters?
Your colleague Wolf Blitzer said yesterday that he really appreciated the transparency. I hope you do too, as somebody.
Yeah, I did too, because it gave you an opportunity to see where the Democrats are and their rigidity, the Republicans and their rigidity, and a president who agreed with the Democrats and then agreed with the Republicans and then said he'll sign whatever they bring to him. That's what I saw.
We're not rigid.
Well,
the
you're
president
certainly
has
not
said
rigid.
all along
That's true.
what has happened. Well, you just said the president has said all along that he is going to tackle immigration in a way that nobody else has. It helped him get elected. That includes now
What helped him get
DACA,
elected
the
was
wall,
being a hardliner on it, not saying he wanted a bill of love. That's why people question his
migration,
intentions.
ending the visa system. No. I think people are just nervous that he's actually going to continue to get things done. You know, Christopher,
why would
he is
they be
trying
nervous
to unify.
about that? Hold on, Kellyanne. I wanted to wait.
Because
that's the right word.
Everything's a political issue to
That's
them.
the right word. Unify. I want to talk to you about that. Let me pay some bills
He's
and
doing
take
a great
break.
job at
When
that.
we come back, I want to talk about your case for the president as a unifier.
We stopped talking about Russia anyway.
You think so?
See you then.
We'll be back in a second. All right, thanks to you for being with us for this CNN special program, part of this 4-week run. Thanks to you as well, Kellyanne Conway, for being with us. Just to be clear, where we were in the last segment, I was asking you if the president would meet with the special counsel. You don't have any clear indication on that. What about the wall? You said you'll tell me right now what it means. Does it mean what he promised during the campaign, or is he now open to the suggestion that security has different requirements in different places? Some places sensors, some places fence, some places wall, or otherwise no need for a brand new big bricks and mortar all the way across. True?
What's true is that after conferring with the experts who are involved in this process, Christopher, the president has discovered that part of it will be, he knows part of it will be the physical wall, part of it is better technology, part of it is also fencing. You know, there are rivers involved, I'm told, there are mountains involved, there's terrain that isn't conducive to building an actual physical structure in some places. But make no mistake, you've seen the prototypes, I hope. You know that many different firms bid on constructing the border wall. And that is something that is an incredibly important piece of this. But I still can't get you to agree that it's worthwhile. You said it's not going to help interdict any drugs, that this is silly, that they all come through airplanes and ports. That's just
not what
false.
I said.
That is
You're
not
right.
a
That
fact.
is just false, because that's not
false.
what I said.
And I got to tell you something. If we can bend the curve on the drug crisis alone in this country, we're on the losing side of it as a nation, right, left, and center. If we can bend the curve, because this president has declared a public health emergency, he has. That's important. Well, hold on, but he went ahead today with bipartisan, bicameral fashion, signed into law the Interdict Act. If his Secretary of Homeland Security is focused on this to stop the flow of illegal immigrants, but also illicit drugs, if he's pressuring other countries who are synthetically making opioid as fentanyl in their labs, if he is going to do a public-facing campaign for prevention and education, we have to come together. He is unifying this country. When he passed his tax cut, it was with all Republican votes, but it doesn't benefit only Republicans. It benefits people of all political stripes, all backgrounds.
That's what you say.
We don't say, no, hold on. People are just starting to see how it is benefiting them and their small business aspirations. No, Christopher, hold on. What about the 1 million people who currently have bonuses? Wait a second.
On an economic level.
You look in the camera. Don't
uniting
look at
about the
me.
tax
Hold
bill,
on.
Kellyanne.
Hold on. Look at the 1 million people. And I hope they're all watching. That would be great.
That would.
Look at the 1 million people in the eye and tell them the bonuses they just got from their employers don't matter, that they're all a fantasy.
Of course they matter. And
Look
that's what
at the
businesses
billions
do.
of
When you
dollars
give them
of
a tax cut,
investment.
they feel good about it. They're already
Infrastructure
holding record
is
amounts of
another
cash.
unifying issue.
But
What
they're
about
not paying it in
infrastructure?
increasing wages. The problem with the economy isn't how much money corporations have. God bless them, and God bless the stock market.
It's
it doesn't
the
affect wages.
decrease in a tax bracket that people have now.
The wages aren't going up the same way corporate profits
in
are.
taxes.
You know that, and that's the criticism of giving corporations more of their money back. It's what they will do with it. You can't
Chris, it's
make
called competition.
them pay more in wages.
It's called keeping the jobs and the
You're
wealth
at
in this
almost full
country and not
employment
shipping
now.
them overseas. We had a 35% corporate tax rate here. It was the highest in the developed world. It's now 21%. It's going to be 21%.
That's
it
the
makes us
nominal
more
rate. It's not the
competitive.
effective rate. But look,
Yes,
if you
it
want to
makes us
help
more
out businesses,
competitive.
that's fine. But you made their cuts
No, we
permanent,
helped out
and you made
individuals,
the
and you know it.
individual cuts temporary because
Christopher,
you
do
were
businesses
benefiting
have children?
corporations
Are they going to-
over people.
I'm
Okay?
sorry. Do businesses benefit from the doubling in the standard deduction, which is for individuals?
No, that
do
will help
businesses
people.
benefit from the child care tax that
will
haven't
help
been
people.
doubled?
It'll help some people in
That's a
certain
new
income
one.
brackets
Businesses
based on where
having
they live.
babies.
It's look,
Child care tax
nobody
credit.
has looked at this tax cut and said this was clearly engineered and designed to benefit the middle class more than
Many
anyone
people
else.
have said that, actually.
Middle class more
Maybe
than
no
anyone
one
else.
where you work or no one that you hang out with.
Nobody says that. I worked in mezzanine finance
not
before
true.
I was here. I got tons of friends who are
And I'll
economists.
tell you who we hear from.
No one. okay?
We hear from the manufacturing industry. We hear,
I'm
we
sure
know
they
that of
like
the 2
it.
million, well, hold on.
I'm sure
Here's
they
why
like it. You're giving
Here's
them
why
more
they
money.
like it. Of 2 million jobs created, 200,000 or so have been in manufacturing. Manufacturing is back in this country, Chris. What about all of the blighted storefronts, the factories that have been shut down and repurposed are just sitting there as an eyesore, as a relic of times gone by?
They're a problem, and everybody knows it.
But manufacturing's back. This president and his administration are dignifying all types of work. They're saying some people are college material. Go get your 4-year degree. Go get a postgraduate degree. But some people should have a skill. If they want to just have a high school degree and a skill certificate.
That's great,
we need
and you
welders and
incentivize
carpenters
all
and
types
computer
of
science.
labor.
Yes, we are.
That's
We're
great.
dealing with governors and state
That's
legislators.
great. You should.
And the Congress and workforce development in the apprenticeship program. This is important. This is nonpartisan, and infrastructure should be very nonpartisan or bipartisan.
The tax bill was inherently partisan, but we talked about that. Let me get one more topic.
Its benefits aren't partisan.
Well,
its benefits redound to those Americans who voted against Donald Trump, who didn't vote at all, who aren't bothered to register to vote. We don't run around asking people what their politics are when we're benefiting them.
Upper income brackets and corporations.
No, it doesn't. It helps the middle class, and you know it.
I asked the question. You answered it. One other topic.
I actually talk to people in the middle class each day, and it helps them. We hear from them every single day here.
And I talk to people in the middle class, too. Some are happy, some aren't. The polls reflect that. Let me ask you something else. About the First Amendment, okay? We all know it's a signature freedom in this country. Is the president really serious about wanting to take a good look at finding ways to abridge the freedom of the press?
That isn't what he said. He said he's going to look at the libel laws. That wasn't abridging the freedom of the press.
How is that not the same thing?
No, it's not the same thing. And this man, every single day he comes to work, and we see it firsthand, and he wants to do good by this country. He wants to make progress as he has. He wants the economy to keep booming as it is, the stock market, the consumer confidence.
What does that have to do with the libel laws?
Chris, it has to do with everything, because instead people are trying to get in his way, trying to nullify his election, trying to throw crocodiles in the water at all chances. It's not going to happen. The people in this country see what he's trying to do.
What does that have to do with the libel laws?
All of us.
I get it. He feels bad. He doesn't like criticism. I understand.
He doesn't feel badly at all.
It's a tough job.
He actually doesn't feel badly at all. He
then
feels
why does he
great.
want to look into the libel laws?
That this country got a tax cut, that for every one new regulation in, 22
then
are out.
Why does he want to look at the libel laws? Because, look, this is not a human reaction. I'm feeling great about myself.
That's not true.
I think I want to shut down people's ability to criticize me.
He does feel great about himself. No, what he doesn't feel great about are people lying, are facts not being checked, are things not being proofed properly. Can people just say things with impunity? And that is problematic.
There's not impunity. There's accountability professionally. You have every ability to talk back. That's what a democracy is about, a battle of ideas, right? It's not where you shut it down. We tried that in 1798 with the sedition law. Didn't work very well.
He didn't say he's going to shut it down.
Didn't work very well.
No, he didn't talk. He wasn't talking about that. He wasn't talking about shutting anything down.
He's been saying it for a long time.
Rights.
And for a man who says as many things that are as demonstrably false on a pace that we have never seen any president even approach, it is odd that he wants to be in the fact-checking business.
He's demonstrably successful in a pace we've never seen. Even his critics had to grudgingly admit that at the end of December. You know, here in Washington, D.C., some people, the past people didn't even work in December. It's like, let's have December start in November. Let's have, this man got so much done in just the month of December. The embassy, the American embassy is moving to Jerusalem, its capital. 5 presidents promised it. 1 made good on that promise.
That's a whole other discussion.
Up Anwar.
There's a reason why Republicans and Democrats didn't see that as a wise move.
Obamacare is gone. Why? Because
Kellyanne, I gotta go.
30 million Americans still don't have health care. They were told you can keep your doctor, you can keep your plan. The young and healthy will go into the exchange.
And let's see how cutting the mandate helps premiums and helps coverage.
Unifying the country, immigration, infrastructure, ISIS in retreat.
If you want to unify,
prosperous.
Keep the signature freedom intact. Say, hey,
and
bring it on.
And thank you to all the Democrats who came to the White House this week
I can take
to work with the president.
I can take it. I'm a stable genius. That should be his response.
Good luck with the show.
Kellyanne, appreciate your participation. You are always welcome. Thank you very much. All right, up next.